RW down here in the Mountain Storm shop. I'm making a grave digger push dagger out of acrylic and wood for a client, and this is how I start. I have a template for the handle scale, and I have a template for the acrylic. I've got my cell cast acrylic marked out. I'll be cutting that on the bandsaw, and this is the Sapele I'll be using. And I saved a select section of this Sapele because of all the interesting eye patterns and whorls. And if you look on the side, you can see the grain is really fascinating. So the first thing I'm going to do is split this right in half on the bandsaw, like that. And then I'll cut out my pieces. And I'll apply each piece one at a time to here with double stick tape, route it out, round it over, hand sand it. I'll fit it to my routed out acrylic part with titanium pens, glue it in place, and we'll have something really awesome. So stay tuned. With the help of a brand new bandsaw blade, got a nice clean cut, touched it up on my sander. Now I've got two identical thicknesses, just the thickness I want, traced out pattern on the Sapele. Not worried about that, that's going to get cut off in the waist. And this will be cut out of the bandsaw, and then I'll start routing it. So before I head over to the router, what I do is I blind drill the pin hole in the back of the scale. And I just want to show you, I'm going to go in about 3/16 on this 3/8 inch piece of wood, and that way the titanium pins won't show from the outside, but they'll still be there doing what they're supposed to do, which is align it to the weapon. Come off of there. There we go. So, that'll be the next step. Okay, so here we are at the router, which is noisy, so I'm not going to bother actually filming me routing it. You get the idea. Top bearing follows the template. The blade takes off the wood. Okay, next step is once I've got the part profiled to the template, now I need to round it over. So I'm going to go after it with 3 different router bits, one at a time, zip, 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 till I get to this size, which will bring it all the way down to the top, to the edge. And then it'll be nice and round all the way around before I even apply it. So there it is. It's been routed over roughly, okay, and now I go after it with some sandpaper to profile a little more while it's still on the form before it even gets on the dagger. Okay, so here it is. This is what it looks like. Sanded down to 220. And to show you some of the natural color, I'm going to use a little naphtha. Naphtha dries real fast, doesn't leave any residue, but it'll bring out some of the color here for a second until it evaporates. And get an idea of what it's going to look like before the finish dries, huh? That is going to be really pretty. Oh yeah. Alright, so that's one. Okay, so I've got the second side done. Let me just rub it down with naphtha. You can get a look at it. You can see why I think this is a nice piece of Sapele. There's something in it. Look at that. It's going to be awesome. And it'll flow right through to the other side like this. Let's just wipe this down again. Get another good look at that. Okay. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is so pretty. And see how it's got the same stripe. Runs right through. It's going to look awesome. It's just a beautiful piece. Alright, now it's time to route some plastic. The next step, cut out my blank on the bandsaw, attach double stick tape to my template. Now it's another routing experience, which you don't need to hear. Okay. Filthy mess, plastic. It's just a filthy mess. But you can see it gives me some really nice edges. Now I just need to slap in my chamfer bit and I can put the edges on the front. Okay, so the part has been routed, giving it a very sharp point and edge. Now I just need to sand it up to 600, then I can buff it out on my buffing wheel. Alright, fresh off the buffing wheel. optically clear edges now. See right through them, right? And beveled edge is optically clear. Can't see through it because the angle makes it like a prism, and all it wants to show you is the brown paper inside, but that's it. Now I got to cut a couple of pens out of titanium, and then we'll be ready to test. Alright, titanium pens in place. I've press fitted my little wood parts on there. They fit perfect. They fit really tight, which is all I needed them to do. And I just got to very, very carefully remove them, and I'll be good for an installation. Now, because I generally use oil and wax to finish my wood, okay, I can't pre-finish these. If I was just lacquering these or covering these with polyurethane, I could pre-finish them and then apply them, and it would be a lot simpler process. But because I like to put oil on it before I glue them down, I'm going to be trimming this masking paper right around the nose of each T-handle, right? Removing that paper, scuffing up the plastic so the the G-flex will adhere properly, right? And then I will be masking off the side of the dagger and applying the grips, and then I'll be doing a little bit of final sanding on the grips, and then I'll put my oil on. G-flex is laid out, ready to mix. There you have it. It's masked up, pinned up, glued up, clamped up. Now we wait. Gonna let it dry a good long time. Can always tell when it's dry because I've got my board here, and when this glue is completely dry, I'll know this glue is completely dry. The thinner it is, the longer it takes to dry. So give it a good long time. Then I'll demask the wood part, leave the acrylic all masked up, finesse the wood part, finish the wood part, and so in the next video I'll be showing you pretty much a final product. This is about it for now. I'm going to go ahead and post this up. You guys kind of got the idea of what's going on here. You've seen my wood finishes before. You know that I like to use boiled linseed oil, and I like to use my special Lin wax that I've made up with beeswax, linseed oil, and pure gum spirits. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting Mountain.